On this video, I would like to continue doing what I have been doing, slowly working through different laws of Hammurabi's law code, doing a grammatical analysis, an inductive grammatical analysis of the Akkadian language. And we're on law 221. And if we could read it just in a quick English translation, I am following in this translation the one in the ancient Near Eastern text, which is by Meek, M-E-E-K, as the translator. And he rendered it, if a physician has set a signor's broken bone or has healed a sprained tendon, the patient shall give 5 shekels of silver to the physician. So what I'd like to do is endeavor to read the text slowly in the Akkadian, and I'm following the transliteration by Borger. And if anyone can follow me along, I would suggest his book, Raquel Borger, B-E-R-G-E-R, Babylonisch Assyrisch Leisurestuck, and he has both the Akkadian itself, the cuneiform, and the transliteration. And then I'll be doing my own normalization and talking about the grammar pretty much word by word. So let me begin, and this is what I'm doing, one of the things I'm doing in my retirement, and I'm enjoying it very, very much. So we begin, Shuma, and then we have Azu, which is the Sumerian Azu, the Akkadian Asum. So Shuma would be if a conjunction, Asum, is the Akkadian for physician. It's interesting that the Akkadian scribes in writing that will use the Sumerian Azu, but it then is understood in Akkadian is as Asum, with the umlaut accent over the And looks at a nominative, a singular, from Asum, which means physician in Akkadian. So if a physician, and then we go to the next letters, which would be E-se-ma-ti. E-se-ma-ti. And this would be like from etsemtu, meaning of a bone, or a bone, a broken bone. And we're looking at either an adjective, well, it looks to me like it is a bone, actually, and we could render it a genitive singular of a bone. And then we have awilim, of a man. Awilim, reading the Akkadian sign and following the transliteration, means of a man. So if a physician of the broken bone, or of the bone, I should say, of a man broken up, and here we have the Akkadian she bir tam, and it's an accusative feminine singular, and we would render it broken up. It's the object of the verb, but if a physician of the bone of a man that is broken up, if he has healed. And now we move to the next sign, ush ta li im. Ush ta li im is a DT preterite from shalamu, an ED preterite from shalamu. And notice, I should say a DT, excuse me, preterite from shalamu, meaning to heal. And notice the stem is shalamu, to heal. And here we have a T infix looking at a DT preterite, and we would double the middle radical, much like the PL in the L here, and it has a U, a prefix. Again, two indicators of the D stem, the doubling of the middle radical and the U prefix. And so if and then ushta-li'im means has healed. That sheen T, the DT preterite from shalamu. And my mind goes to the Hebrew shalom, meaning peace or wholeness. So if a physician of the broken, of the bone, I should say, of a man broken up, that is broken up, has healed, ushta lim. And then we move to the next sign, ulu. Ulu here would simply mean or. She'ir hanam. She'ir hanam, meaning a tendon. A tendon. And then I thought this was interesting. Mar sa Mar sa like a sick tendon. And I noticed Meek rendered it a sprain, like a sprained tendon. So you think about a doctor back then helping a sprain. I remember several times I sprained my ankle and the doctor helped me out. So that's been going on for a long time, as well as bones being broken. And then we come to the next word, and it is ub ta al li it, with the dot under the T. Ub talit would be again a DT preterite. He has healed, from balat to. So if or a tendon that is sprained or sick, we could say, he has healed. That is, the doctor has healed. And then this is interesting. Be'el, and that is the owner from Belum. And Meek points this out, the owner of the wound or the injury. Interesting way of describing it here would be B-L, the owner, Z M me im, the owner of the wound, Z M me im. Interesting here, Borger related it to, instead of Z-I, S-I as the prefix, or as the first two letters or the first consonant and vowel. So the owner of the wound, and zimim is your genitive singular from wound. So the owner of the zimu would be wound, and im is your genitive singular. The owner of the wound, and then anna, the preposition to, and now we have azu, capital A, period, capital Z-U, which is the Sumerian for physician. And we would render it in Akkadian as asim, with the circumflex accent over the I. So to a physician, and now we have 5 signs to indicate 5. So 5 etched, 5 signs etched originally in the tablet. 5 gin, G-I-N, another Sumerian word meaning 5 shekels. And now we have of silver, ku-babar. Again, Sumerian, capital K-U, period, capital B-A-B-B-A-R. And the Akkadian would be kaspam. And I'm reminded of kesef in Hebrew. So 5 shekels, and a shekel, shegil, from shiglu, and here it's in construct, or it's being used as an adjective, 5 shekels, that is of silver. Then he will give. Inna ad-din. In Nadine, he shall give. In other words, here we have a G present, a third masculine singular from Nadanu. We have the doubling of the middle radical, the D, showing we're looking at a present or future. He shall give. And we're looking at just the G stem here, the Grundstamm, the basic stem, he shall give, from Nadanu. And I'm thinking, interesting, in Hebrew, Natan, a relationship in the Akkadian from Natan. One of the things I'm able to see as I'm doing this, and it's a challenge to me to try to work through the original cuneiform, and I'm using Borger, his writing of that cuneiform, and this is on page, well, let's see, he has it in a tablet. Actually, it's toward the back of his book under Codex Hammurabi and under Law 221. So this is a way I'm trying to learn the signs as I read through it. When I first had Akkadian some years back, we used as a textbook the David Marcus textbook, a manual of Akkadian, who was a former professor at Columbia. And this is when I was studying it at Dropsy College in Philadelphia. And basically, I remember my first exposure to Akkadian was we were required to learn the signs that Marcus has on pages 2 to 3. We had to put them on 3x5 cards and memorize them. And needless to say, not being a teacher of Akkadian in the seminary where I taught, my main responsibility was teaching Hebrew, but not Akkadian. I think I had one time, I believe 3 students. Wait a minute, I think 2 that took Akkadian with me one time as an elective. They were doing it for fun. And we went to a coffee shop and went through some of the work that I had already done in the epilogue of Hammurabi. And by the way, that's available if anyone's interested out on YouTube, the epilogue of Hammurabi and the prologue. And now we've just been sort of working our way through some of the different laws. I'm picking them at random. And basically, I'm picking shorter laws because it doesn't take quite so long. So now if we put it all together, Shuma Asum Etsamati Awilim Shebiirtam Ushtaliim Ulu She'erchanam Marsam Ubtalit Bel Ziimim and Ana Asim 5 shekels, Kaspan silver, in Nadine he shall give. I thought it was interesting, and this was also noticed by Meek. The owner of the wound is going to pay that. So if you have a wound, you're the owner of that wound. One of the things that I should have said that I don't think I did when I was going through the different signs. If a doctor, Shuma Azu, then the next word is Gir Padu. And I don't think I just rendered it Etsamati, but that's the Sumerian for Etsamati, that is of a bone, from Etsimtu. So let me stop there. I hope this might help somebody. I'm mainly doing it for the fun of it. It's a hobby. My main work that I do is Hebrew and Greek grammatical analysis on YouTube, and also I put it up on Facebook. So if anyone is following along in Akkadian, I hope this is helpful. I think maybe you can find the transcription of Hammurabi's law code on somewhere out on Google Books. And I would just check it out and follow along. And as I have time, I'll try to blend in some of the Akkadian laws with other work that I'm doing. Let me just say this. We did an introduction to Enuma Elish, I think the first 8 lines. We've done some work in parts, a short part of Gilgamesh Epic, and the descent of Ishtar into the underworld, some lines on that. And now we are working I've done the epilogue of Hammurabi and the prologue. We're now working at different individual laws. So I hope this is helping someone. I'm sure there's not hundreds of people having an interest in Akkadian, but I think it's important, very important in my understanding, to really understanding the ancient world. And it's fascinating to go back to this time. I was just looking at Meek, for example, and I don't know, I might have shared this on the first one that I put up. I'm reading on page 138. Hammurabi, also spelled Hammurabi, was the 6th of 11 kings in the old Babylonian dynasty. He ruled for 43 years, from 1728 to 1686, according to the most recent calculations. The date formula for his second year the year he enacted the law of the land, indicates that he promulgated his famous law code at the very beginning of his reign. But the copy which we have could not have been written so early because the prologue refers to events much later than this. And we've done the prologue already. Our copy was written on a stela topped by a bas relief showing Hammurabi in the act of receiving the commission to write the law book from the god of justice, that is the sun god Shamash. Sometime I would like to do an inductive Akkadian grammar of Shamash, something about Shamash. The stela was carried off to the old Elamite capital, Susa, by some Elamite raider. And Meek suggests apparently Shutaruk Nahunte about 1207 to 1171 BC as a spoil of the war that he was involved in. It was then discovered by French archaeologists in the winter of 1909 to 1902 and was carried off by them to Paris as a trophy of archaeology. And so that's a little bit about the background of the writing of the Hammurabi's code. So you really think everything, it's pretty old. I mean, back to what, 1700 BC. And today, everything is about the latest. Everything. You got to do something that's right up to date. So it's fun to go back and read something that's ancient. I remember and when I had Akkadian, professor was saying, "Isn't this wonderful? This is wonderful. We're able to read something that goes all the way back to 1700 BC. And so we're going back further than Homer and so forth. So at any rate, it's fun and it's helping me to sort of revitalize my Akkadian that I had. As I've said to you before, my main emphasis was Hebrew and the ancient Near Eastern languages as well. But I had the focus in seminary and in my PhD studies in Hebrew. But we did 3 years of Akkadian. So, but that was a long time ago. So it's helpful to me to continue to try to revive it. So I hope this helps somebody. At least I'm having fun doing it, and I hope it's a help to someone else. Thank you very much.